Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are
Surprise,
here. We're here for more space. Well
Space.
done, everyone. That was,
Yep.
that was well
Yep.
coordinated. That being said, we are here for more space. We're here for Void, the Coriolis campaign. We are here with the full cast and crew, ready to do space things to space people. So some announcements for me, guys. If you guys want to support the channel here, please go hit us up on Patreon. That's the best way to do it. If you want our newest emotes, which you can see on Twitter, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to talk about this game and all the other games we're running and have run it in the past, go check us out on Discord. And the most important announcement of the night, in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One, when it's full all the way, Dot gets to do whatever the hell she wants to us, and so far it's been terrible. But most importantly...
She does that anyways.
That's
Please,
true.
it hasn't been that bad.
Mm,
I haven't even made you deal with radiation yet.
yet.
Tonight will be the bad night. Tonight is what I call repercussion.
So if
repercussions.
you weren't going to donate, tonight's the bad night, so make it worse. But that bar, most importantly, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to these wonderful, amazing, beautiful players here. So if you want to support this cast, please do so by tossing a coin to your streamer. That being said, I will turn things over to Dot to bring us into the world of Coriolis.
Yes. So last week, thanks to, once again, a full bar, shenanigans ensued right out of the bat. The crew finally loaded up and made their very first portal jump together aboard the Defiant, Tao's vessel. Her, it's a science freighter. The jump was as smooth as it can be, considering the fact they were in a kind of stasis, sleep-like stasis, to be able to make the jump. Unfortunately, upon arriving on the other side in the Hemira system, there was an unnatural amount of debris that did not belong there. It was soon realized that the debris that was smashing into them was that of multiple vessels that seemed to have potentially been in the actual pull of the portal, and unsure how it all happened. What they did find out very quickly is that a large chunk of space debris can easily knock your ship off course. And when it does, it puts you right in the direction of a massive star. Well, unfortunately, they weren't the only vessel now floating towards towards the star. There was, in fact, another ship, one that they had heard, the Ghazali, which was once a cruise ship but had been, looks like maybe transformed into a transport vessel. It was signaling out a distress beacon. And our brave adventurers answered the call, kind of, because they wanted to. Oh, I remember why. You saw life aboard the vessel. There was life aboard the vessel and a distress beacon, which was enough for these loving, caring souls of space to dock and board the Gonzalo.
Some of us.
Some of you, yes, that's right. Some of you. And after much hard, difficulty getting into the vessel, as there was some damage done, come to find out, the only living creatures aboard this vessel were a kind of furry, wolf-like creature, three of them, in fact. They quickly made light of them, I'll say, but not before learning quite a lot, that the Ghazali was destined to go through the Hemira portal to their destination, the Taoan system. More importantly, it didn't obviously make it. It was stationed to go through with a much larger Legion destroyer. And that destroyer made it through. Still kind of unknown. But nobody aboard this vessel made it. And the only thing they managed to get off of it, other than radiation poisoning, was, in fact, a small blue disc. Oh, and there was a small carved statuette, I believe, that Polaris stumbled over in the last seconds, as they were desperately trying to de-dock and assure that they were not pulled into the sun along with this doomed vessel. They made it with minutes to spare. Tao put them in, I guess what you could say, hard reverse, and they are safe, I guess you could say, aboard the Defiant once again. There is a deep silence that comes over the ship as all of you have a moment to catch your breath. It will take you, at least from what you've been able to, your navigation system that Tao has put together, will take you about a half a day's journey, if not longer, from where you currently stand to the Hemura Portal Station, which is where you were originally headed before you were knocked off course. Here, hopefully, there will be some answers, or at least somebody that can tell you what happened. In the silence of the vessel, everybody trying to potentially catch their breath, deal with the moments after all of this. Each of you that were aboard the vessel, the Gonzali, you're going to need to take some radiation damage. There was a lot of radiation aboard that vessel, and you were exposed for, what'd you say, about an hour?
Like a minute or two.
About an hour?
30 minutes?
30 minutes? Okay. So here's the deal. Technically, it's considered extreme radiation, which means you would take a point of damage per minute you were exposed.
Fuck.
The good news is, it was only certain portions of the vessel that you were dealing with. So I'm going to treat this a little different. You guys each take what is considered 2 points of radiation damage for your time aboard, like just in and out of rooms. Let me make sure. Radiation. I marked it. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, so this, I'm going to say, usually it's strong radiation is 1 radiation point per hour, but I'm going to give you guys 2 since you were there only a couple minutes and it was actually extreme radiation. There's going to be, okay, so every time you suffer a point, you must roll a dice equal to your total current number of accumulated. So each of you are going to roll 1, and then you're going to roll a second time for your second die with 2d6. For every 6 in the roll, you take 1 point of damage. The critical rating of radiation is 1. The crit rating, yes, great. Okay, great. So let's get some rolls from you guys right out of the bat. Just in time to catch your breath. Let's go all the way to the bottom here. Okay, great. Sorry, Mike.
No, I'm good.
You rolled a 1. Well,
Every
nicely
time
done.
you roll a 6.
Every time you roll a 6. So you guys are going to roll 1d6, and then you're going to roll 2d6.
Yeah, but it's every time you roll a 6, you take damage, I think.
Right, correct. Yeah, there's no damage yet. Nobody's suffered any permanent damages.
So
go
how
ahead.
so 2d6 total?
So you're gonna start. Every time you take a point, you're gonna roll a d6 equal to the number of damage that you have. So just 1d6 to start for your first point. Great. You're gonna take a point. Now you're gonna roll. No one gets to roll 2d6. Everybody else gets to roll 1 for your second point to see if you.
Oh fuck, yo! Woo! Rolling high tonight.
Great. Fuck. Great. I love this. This is great. Radiation is great.
Just in case, because I like to screw the players just as much, I think Paul needs to roll a second dice as well. It is cumulative. So it's
it is cumulative.
It's 1d6, then 2d6, then 3d6, etc., etc. For your.
Wait, but I think it's hang on. Every time you
total.
are there is a risk that the radiation will no. Every time you suffer, you must roll a number of dice equal to your total current number of accumulated. You're right. Your total accumulated number.
It's a bitch.
Okay, so roll one more time, Paul, and then I'm gonna have Mike roll twice. Okay, good news. You only take 1 point, Mike.
I did. I rolled a 1 and then a 4 and a 3.
Oh, I missed that. Oh, I see it up here at the top. Perfect. Okay. Malik, you suffer no radiation damage from what you can tell. There's some nausea, and you get a little lightheaded as you come back aboard the ship, but there are various reasons. It could have been the loss of, atmosphere, as there was, massive vacuum ventilation.
Yeah.
So as you board the ship, you get kind of weak in the knees, and that radiation takes over a little bit. So you can heal for this radiation if you want to. You'll heal 1 per day. Tamir, on the other hand, as all of you kind of have a moment to address yourself, Tamir, inside your suit, which you still wear.
That's what I was going to ask. Does it protect any from radiation
That's a good
at all?
question.
I'm trying to find. That's why I'm so quiet. I'm actually looking through the gear. And
That's good. That's good.
You have
I'm
an
not.
exoshell, right?
I have an exoshell.
Exoshell.
The exoshell gives you 1 armor and makes you. It's only an Atmos suit, So the exoshell
Yep.
is
Right,
for
it's a
outside, like the
survivor-
ship. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's just atmo, nothing, no
Okay.
radiation.
No radiation.
Cool.
Maybe I'll double check. I think it might give
will
you
you-
one radiation, but I'll look.
Oh. Yeah. Will you check on that, Mike?
Yes.
Because you got it. Wait. What's it called? Because I have a heart. You guys.
Exosuit.
Yay.
I bet it's in the appendix, which I can look up
it's
much
an
faster now.
exoshell.
Yeah.
Exoshell 118. Yes, 118. All right. So, because this is going to be important, because I want to. This will be important.
I mean, I want to see the mechanics too, though. So like.
Yes.
I
Okay. So
like, I also have to
exoshell, you
see.
get a -2 bonus. I don't know what that means. Exoshell.
That's for like anything with like dexterity.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I'm
a
just
shell
slow.
suit to protect the wearer in vacuum and other dangerous situations. I feel like radiation qualifies, but we're going to find out. Contains oxygen for 8 hours, vacuum soles and sticks to surfaces and ship's hull. Provides a little protection against external violence, but is difficult to move around in. All right, so it does say other dangerous situations. So I'm going to give you one of the two. So you will also take 1 point of radiation damage. The suit absorbs 1, and it actually speaks to you as you two kind of have to catch yourself, that nausea rising in your stomach, the dizziness, the loss of breath, as your body acclimates to extreme radiation. And the suit says, you have suffered extreme radiation poisoning. Please sit down. Please sit down.
I know. I'll sit down in a minute. Is everybody okay?
What did I get? Did I get attacked? I got attacked. I got bitten by this monstrosity.
Did.
Yeah, so I think like once we're back in the ship and you're like, I know, I'll sit down. You just see like, you see Malik like move and adjust his armor, but there's clearly blood. And he's absolutely trying to like downplay and like roll the armor around so that you can't see the hole that was chewed into his arm. But he took some, he's bleeding a little bit.
I would probably walk up behind you, right? Because I came in after. I think I would follow right after, fully covered in blood, just absolutely just dripping, and then like in my hand I'm holding the little statue, and then I'll immediately just kind of cough, and then I'll just stare at it and realizing I don't know if that's my blood or the monster's blood.
I immediately went to the cockpit to get the ship away.
Yep.
So
You've kind of set what might be considered like an autopilot course, at least for the first half of this, because you're not in the debris field yet. I'll have you make like a proper pilot roll when you get a little closer. But for now, you're pretty much on track. It's going to be about 5, 6, maybe 7 hours before you have to deal with like piloting.
okay, yeah, but as soon as they got back on, I went straight because we were about a minute from getting pulled into the sun.
Yes, you were.
So that was when my job happened.
Yep. And I would say you guys have been puttering now for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And by the way, I haven't forgot. I have 8 darkness points. Just a reminder.
I know.
Son of a bitch.
Okay.
I also have not forgotten.
She's going to use that as a bookmark.
Right. Yeah, actually, it's on my desk. I pinned it to my desk. I was very excited about it this week. Okay. There's a strange moment where there is a massive explosion from behind you. And it rattles the vessel. There's a couple of those like beepings from the system. And Sally comes on and she says, Gonzali ship has exploded.
Thanks, Sally. I heard.
The ship was 8 hours from the sun.
We should probably go a little bit faster.
Yes, that would be most advisable.
Let's pick up the speed a little bit here. I will go a little bit faster. Go
Give
over
a
the
little
intercom.
oomph.
Yeah. Give it a little bit of an oomph, and go over the intercom because I'm not 100% sure where everybody else is.
Yeah.
Is anybody hurt?
I look at Malik.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe in the med bay.
And as soon as the comm goes dead, Malik just turns to me and goes, Meet her in the med bay?
I'm not a doctor.
Neither is she.
She
Can I
knows what
please-
she's doing.
I was gonna say, you don't know her. You only known her for like 24 hours.
Yeah, and nothing about her screams I'm a doctor.
Well,
She has the worst bedside manner ever.
Look, Malik is not about bedside manner. It's about whether or not she can fix you up, and she can fix you up. I've seen her do it. She's done it to me.
Does the ship have an auto dock?
you have like 13 hours before you arrive there. Well, a little less now, but
Listen, I
Just need to stop the
don't
bleeding.
want like a battle wound here. So he, under much consternation, he eventually sighs and just saunters off to the.
you give in.
Yeah, like I gotta stop this bleeding, but like also, I can do it myself. And he walks to the med bay. Hey,
Hey, okay. Where are you hurt?
and he like pulls back the jacket,
Oh.
and there's like a huge like bite mark, like a dog bit him on the shoulder. Right,
Big one.
right over here in the bleeding.
Well,
part. Yeah.
I'm glad there's extra hands here to help with this. Okay.
Who are the extra hands?
Me. If you tried to clean this yourself, it'd be a bitch to get to.
Oh, I thought you were the hands. Anyway, and he like pulls off the jacket and walks over there. Okay, what do I need to do?
I will essentially just start like cleaning and bandaging you up. I am not doing anything fancy. I'm being gentle.
Is that alcohol? It burns so much.
Yes.
God, you're such a baby.
I'm just me in real life.
Such a baby.
I'm being somewhat gentle, but just cleaning and bandaging.
I'm gonna have you
nothing
make a
special there.
metacurgy roll. This is kind of how we heal for that, unless anybody has anything like special, any kind of medicines or injections that they want to give.
Oh, I have a med kit. How often can I use that? Not often. Is it like one use?
I think it's a
or-
+1 to a medical
it's a
roll.
plus run to the roll because you just get all of the stuff that's inside of
Oh.
it. But I believe in the vessel we have a.
It's
Yeah,
in the
we're-
vessel.
Yes, we have
You
a
can
med lab
have
in the
it?
vessel. That's where we are.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yay.
since you have a med lab, add a +1 to this roll. So the little box will pop up for the modifier. Make sure you add 1 to it.
Yeah. Okay. There it is. Medical.
Because you'll have a bunch of extra stuff here. Oh,
What?
then
No.
just use the
Darn
wit.
it.
It's okay. If you don't have any extra in it, just use a regular wit roll and then add
Oh.
it there.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
No. There we go.
Boom sauce! You managed to stop the bleeding. More importantly, you're able to stitch Malik up. It's gonna scar. There's no doubt about it. They ripped deep. But it looks as if there will be no infection. And within about 24 hours, you may have even like some rotation back in it, Malik.
And like, I think once it's done and he's done being a bitch, he goes, "Oh, that's better than I thought it was going to be." I'm sorry.
Standing in the doorway.
Thank you.
Can you just yell? Do you need like a sucker?
You're a sucker. Shut up. Get out of here.
I would like to be right behind Tamir, still dripped in blood, and just like kind of tap. Where are your baths?
Down the hall on the left. It's the second door.
Okay. And I'm just gonna turn around and just slowly leave a trail of blood as it just keeps dripping and dripping and dripping and dripping and
Do
dripping.
you still have the
Yeah. it's dipped
thing
my
in
hand.
your hand? You're holding
Yeah.
it like in your hand. I'm gonna have you roll for me. Maybe while you're walking down the hallway, you're like dripping everywhere. I don't know if you're trying to touch things or not.
No,
But you
I'm just-
hold
I'm
this.
just walking like this. Like
It is cylindrical. It's a cylinder, and
Okay.
it's just a few, inches tall, and about this big around, like all in all. And as you kind of are walking down the hallway, and maybe you're looking at it, you see that the blood, whether it be yours or the creatures, at this point you're unsure, but it fills these crevices, these carvings that have been put into it. But most interesting is that the carvings don't spell anything that you can tell. It doesn't have any kind of proper symbol on it. It's more like organic, like lineage, as if you gave a 5-year-old somewhere to carve into it. It doesn't make any picture or anything that you can rightfully make out. But I'm going to, if you want to know more about it or see if you can figure out more about it, we can definitely make a roll for that.
I would
That's what
like
your
to.
eye-
Yeah.
As you're starting to leave the doorway and walk down the hall, you hear Tal turn around with needle still in one hand. You're gonna clean that up when you're done showering, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I look forward to it.
Okay. And then I would like to roll to see. My attention is solely on the. He did not hear anything Tal said.
Yeah, you answered almost automatically to her. Of course, yeah, fine. As you're kind of entranced in this thing in your hand, it obviously had some kind of import because the woman who died holding it seemed to, was literally holding it to her death. So it seemed to have some kind of import. So I will give you. This is going to be a wits roll. It's definitely not technology, but I would take science, culture.
I got no science.
I got no science. I would take culture. I would take. This is not a survival. Maybe an observation, as well, which is wits based.
I could do an observation.
All right, roll the observation. Let's see if I can't give you more than just what your eyeballs see. Okay. It's strange. Most of the time, small things like this that are held by priests or priestesses or anybody in the order, it has some kind of important meaning to them, which is pretty simple to see. But at the limited success, you're not able to make out the picture or anything of it.
So I know it's just like some sort of importance to the icons, though.
Possibly. You don't see any kind of engravings or carvings that liken it to any icon that you know of.
My only link would be the fact that a priest was holding it.
Right. The only link that you would have is that it might have some kind of religious significance or was important to that priest in particular. But there's nothing carved into it that says that this is icon related in any way.
Okay. I think I'm going to just pocket that for now, just to hold on. I don't think I would announce that I found it.
Uh-huh. Well, you're about to pop in the shower.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna run in because my top priority is not to slip and fall again.
Right. So here's what's about to happen. You begin taking off your armor. You set this like little stone, it's made of stone cylinder down on a surface. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna burn a darkness point.
Fuck.
And as you do, as you're taking off this stuff, you bump it. And it tips over and it goes rolling across the top of a very clean white countertop in Tal's vessel. As it does, the blood acts like ink. And it sprawls out an image across the top of this white counter. As you peer at it, trying to make out what it is, the steam in the room begins to pick up. And the blood begins to liquefy with the water on the table, making the image harder and harder to see by the second.
So it's
you're standing there like half of your stuff. You're like, whoa, as it like rolls across the table, but you see it pans this image out.
What is it? Can I take a look at what the image is? Or like,
it's very quickly dissipating with the steam that's building in the shower room.
Fuck. You
can roll another observation as the steam builds to see if you can catch it before it gets to.
Can I do that? Can I roll again?
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. It's a strange image, a limited success, but 2. It's a strange image. Wow, it's 2 6s though. At first glance, your gut tells you it's a very crude drawing of a vessel, a spaceship, shaped like a butterfly. You've never seen anything like it in the Third Horizon, at least not in your years. And by the time you take this in, it has kind of built up a lot of water on this table from the steam where you turned on the shower. And the rolling stone piece falls off the edge of the table.
Can I try catching it?
You can try. Because I burned a darkness point.
Fuck. Okay, so does that mean...
So this would be a... is there anything... Yeah, this would probably be a dexterity. That's agility based. Okay. You reach for it. You catch it But as it hits your hand, which smashes to the floor, this very crude stamp, which is really what it was, that was clearly made in a hurry, cracks in two in your hand instead of shattering. So it's now in two pieces, possibly able to be fixed, but it is now in two. And you stand naked as a jaybird, squatting on the floor, catching a stone thing as the image of this vessel dissipates with the water. And the camera pans back down the hallway out of a steaming shower room to Malik, Tamir, and Eris. I'm sorry, not Eris, Tao. Sorry. You're Eris, you play Tao. Yes.
And
I should switch which order my names are in.
I literally was just like reading down the page quickly. And the shower turns on and you guys hear steam. Everything seems to be in place, at least with Polaris and Sewell.
And quickly on the heels of the do you need a sucker joke from Tamir, Malik looks down at the blood and said, that looks like an intern's job.
I need to go get this radiation off my suit.
Oh, right.
Unless you want a hug.
No, I also have it.
You want more? I can give you more.
Hard pass.
Boys,
Yes, Mom.
as much as... Excuse you?
What?
Did you just call me mom?
No.
Malik, I'm not even kidding right now. Don't mess with Tom. Like,
Don't.
I'm warning you. You know, you can take your fun. I'm gonna go take care of
I
my
know
suit.
where you sleep. I have access to the whole ship. I can just toss you out an airlock at any point.
She will totally space you.
And I literally just finished stitching you up.
I was.
So, Tamir, can you do after you get your radiation taken care of, can you do a systems check and make sure everything's working okay?
Yes, of
There was
course.
a few things got screwed up. I'm gonna go start fixing what I can already.
Okay. I'll be on that.
Clean up.
Keep in touch.
Yes.
Okay.
I will clean up and then clean up the medical supplies I was using and then go to check systems and see if there's anything that needs to be repaired.
All right. Sounds good. Let me know if you need anything.
Okay.
I'll
Malik,
I'll
I
just be here.
assume that you can.
Yeah. No, I'll be around.
Hey, Malik, you know, I have to go fix the ship. Tal's got to go fix the ship.
Yeah.
There's some blood on the floor. You can definitely clean that up. That is in your skill set. And I want to just like walk by you and kind of pat you gently, but brotherly on the wound and walk by.
Okay. Okay.
Who walks down first? All right, and are you walking to the main cabin area? Or are you walking to the front of the vessel where the piloting stuff is?
I'm walking towards whatever part of the vessel I know took damage for sure.
It was the front
Especially if
end.
it's okay, yeah. So I'm
It
gonna
was
go down
definitely
to
the
the front
Okay.
and start checking out what I can repair, at least from the inside, especially if it's vital systems or any.
Sure. Okay.
anything like that.
So things that you would note. It looks like there was some damage done to the front of the ship. The good news is it didn't do any kind of permanent or disabling damage to the vessel. Most of it looks to be cosmetic. The piece that was kind of shielding the front nose has been ripped off, that was kind of covering everything, and it looks like there are a few bits and chunks that are now missing. And you can see if you kind of peer over, you can see it's like so. Unless you want to send somebody out in a suit, or you'll have to wait till you dock to properly fix it, because nothing on the internal side of the vessel seems to have any problem.
So if you let me know, I can go out there. That's what the exo shell is for.
You have a lot of radiation, and I'd prefer that you stay inside.
But we need repairs.
I also have an exosuit, and I'm quite capable of repairing my ship.
You're right. I'm sorry.
God, I love Tal so much. He's like, all of you just sit down. Just like there's a traumatic business. Like, let me deal with this for you. Like, I love it so much.
I don't know why she got so mad when I called her mom. Hey, for being frank here.
Oh my gosh.
Tamir. Malik, what do you like on your tombstone?
Tal's like 20.
Oh shit.
Tal is not very old.
Yeah, you just have mother hen personality.
Mother hen syndrome.
Tal is the most mature.
Mm-hmm. That's what
You know what? I fully agree with that statement. 100%.
Possibly, but that's just because she's been on this ship her whole life. So I, as I'm looking at Tamir, I put my hands on your shoulders and say, Tamir,
Yes.
go sit down, clean your suit, chill, run a systems check. I got this.
Okay.
And I go to put my exosuit on and go repair the damage.
Awesome. No problem. As you actually go over to where your exosuit kind of hangs on the wall, it's right near kind of the showers, you manage to just catch in the crevice Sewell squatting near the floor of this shower, like the showering room. He seems to be staring at something intently. You're getting kind of like his backside as he's squatting. You're unsure what's happening. Nonetheless, you suit up.
The door's open?
It's like a little crack. You know, you pass by, there's a lot of steam. You're not seeing a lot. It's not like you're like peeping Tom kind of a thing. But it seems odd that somebody is squatting in the middle of the shower room.
Nude. We established that part.
I did establish that, though I didn't know a second reiteration was important. But my one's Heine, so there's a definite Heine shot.
Still shipping.
I paused
Malik and
for a
Soul.
moment and just kind of continue.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
Like,
How? Okay, this is gonna be an odd question, but I swear there's a.
You know what, Paul? No such thing.
Welcome to the team, buddy.
How much of Soul's back would she have seen in that brief second?
How much do you want to show off?
I mean, she would see a couple seconds worth of it. You would be bent over, so she would probably see, you know, I would think she'd see it. If there's something large and visible, but it's also very steamy, so if it's something small, she probably wouldn't.
Okay.
Your tramp stamp, she misses it.
It's steamy for sure.
There's a lot of scarring, but it's like multiple scarrings on Soul's entire back, and like back, shoulder, all the way back, even past his butt, all in his legs, and it looks like they're kind of small, but they kind of look like lashes, and it's just like marked everywhere. It's like his entire back's covered with it. And
you probably do notice that, Tal. It's probably like, why is he squatting? Holy, right? Just that moment, and then you know, maybe your head turns away if you're modest. Or, you know, don't want to be a peeping Tom.
Tal's not really into that.
That's good. Yeah, so you have that moment of like, why is he squatting? Oh crap, he's naked. Oh my god, his back. And then back to the goal at hand. Yeah, ship. And you suit up. This time, because you're not docked, you will have to use your airlock system. Praise be that it is not in any way that like atmospheric entry has been damaged. He was squatting because he was picking something up off the floor. Yeah, so atmospheric entry. Yeah, so
that's
you
just
pop
how
into
I
the
get ready for it.
yeah, you pop into the atmospheric entry, and decompressurizes. The one behind you closes, making the ship secure. As the one in front of you opens, and immediately you begin to kind of float. All of these suits, these exosuits, have magnets on the boots so that you can walk on the vessel. And obviously, you know, I don't know, not float into space. You have had to slow the ship a little bit because you can't go at like full speed ahead and climb on the outside, but it's still moving. So this is going to be kind of dangerous, but you can kind of walk out there and take a look to see, Yeah, to kind of assess the damage and see what you would need.
I would first off, I would wait until we were far enough away from the sun to not have a danger of just randomly blowing up.
Yep, you're definitely out of that. Though you can look back at the vessel or the sun and see the silhouette of where the ship exploded and the debris kind of going outwards.
Yeah. So yeah, I will carefully make my way and.
Great. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to have you. This is kind of a dexterity. Just to, make your way over there while the vessel's moving. But you do have magnets on, so it won't be a very difficult roll. I'll even let you add a +1 since you're wearing the suit. I think actually the suit gives you a -2, but
I was going to say
the suit gives you a -2 to dex.
I can't use strength because Tal's really strong.
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
I went for strength because I thought
do you have
that's
force?
What I would need.
Do you have force? Okay, I'll give it to you.
Yes.
Why not? You're kind of you're more like pulling yourself across the front of the vessel since you're using your strength, your bare strength. So let's do a
kind
force.
of what I was picturing when I
Perfect.
took it.
Great. You are still moving, and it takes you some time. The suit is heavy. The magnets are good magnets, and you're using your strength and, like I said, not dexterity to move. So it takes you a while. Eventually, you make it to the front. You're able to kind of squat here and take a look at this chunk of the front of the vessel that has been damaged. Like I said, none of the major internal modules have been harmed, though you very quickly see that the mechanism inside of the front of the ship that handles your cloaking device has been injured or damaged. It was kind of taken, something swiped across it, basically.
I will see if there's any way I can repair that because it's important.
Yeah,
that
if you want to,
at least as important as anything else.
Yeah, so that would be that's like a stealth technology piece that you have installed on it. So, yeah, go ahead and roll. I guess this would be a technology if you want to try to repair it with what you have on you. Do you have like a torch or some tools or something?
I would have brought my toolkit for most general repairs, obviously.
And that would probably be why you were moving even slower, more weight.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and let's make that technology roll.
Not with anything extra. Okay.
All right, it takes you a while. You think that you have fixed it. Oh yeah, there's no weight in space. You think that you have fixed it, but she is wearing a suit. She's having to move, and I guess she's carrying stuff. But so you. At a limited one, you managed to fix what you can. Some sparking wires here that you reconnect, some small pieces there, but the integrity of the piece itself is damaged. You're going to need some proper parts for replacement, which you might be able to find on one of these stations. The portal stations are usually well populated. They're layover places for people in between travel and stuff as they hop ships. So there would be things there. It's not Coriolis, but you might find some replacements. But for now, you think that you've done what you can.
Okay. Satisfied, I will return back inside. Unless there's anything else.
I was about to say, and since I've been told that there's no weight in space, and that clearly you didn't need to make a roll to move across the front of your vessel.
Mobility is difficult. Because you're still traveling, so
and you're trying to hang on.
Right, that's a thing. So you need some strength.
Yeah,
this is what happens when you play in a game with two other Coriolis GMs.
With two GMs, right? Yeah, and you make it back no problem. You've been gone now about 20 or 25 minutes. What's gone on in the vessel? I would say Polaris, unless you're one of those, you like your showers, you would be done in plenty of time. Yeah. Malik and Samir would be kind of waiting on you. And Tal there's no question, when you walk out of the shower, you could look right down the narrow hallway out the front of the window. You can see Tal on the front, fixing some things.
If I walk out and then do I see the blood still, the path of blood into the shower?
Oh yeah, nobody's cleaned up after you.
So at a moment, Saul will look at that and feel like he was supposed to do something. And he just stands there for a minute, and he's just like, "Why does this?" And then just walks on.
And on you go.
Perfect.
Where are the other two gents?
I think, like, wherever Tamir went, Malik kind of followed, but, like, at a couple steps behind because he's listening for something. And as soon as he hears I assume there's some kind of alarm or noise that the airlock makes to let you know that it's closed properly.
Of course.
And as soon as the noise happens, Malik looks to Tamir and puts his hand out and says, "Disc."
Oh, yeah. Before he gives you the disc, he's going to reach and hand you the pistol.
Oh, no, that one is for you.
No, it is not for me. And then he'll hand you the disc.
Two things in the palm of your hand.
He pockets it and then holds the disc, and then looks back to him and says, "You really should sit. The radiation poison takes a lot out of you."
I need to go run a systems check. I will sit in a little bit. We have 13 hours until we need to get to the station. It'll be fine. This is not my first experience with radiation.
Yeah, but run the systems check. What?
I need to go run the systems check?
Run the systems check from a computer with a chair.
Could Saul be around to hear this?
Probably. It probably, like,
You
echoes
probably
down.
walk in on
Yeah,
it.
it probably, like,
I'm
echoes
gonna
down the
come in with,
hallway.
like,
And they're
half-
brothers, so
half
I
a-
can't imagine that they're quiet.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna walk in with like half my outfit, with the other like half just with a towel.
do you just
Kinda
have like the towel on?
just like drying
With,
my
like,
hair,
the
and I'm
with, like,
just-
the cone of...
and I'm just like watching you two. I'm just like, yeah. He's right. You should probably sit.
I see. I'm gonna leave you two alone, and I'm gonna go do the things that I need to go do. Find me later.
Yeah, I'll be on the ship. It's only so big.
Great.
You're
Tamir's gonna.
so sassy.
What are you... You're making a
I'm
face.
gonna start taking bets on who's gonna punch Malik first.
Oh, God. It's any...
Yeah, who's punching Malik
it's
first?
any number
Tal.
of people. It's Tal.
It's
It's,
gonna-
for
It's gonna be
sure.
Tal.
It's Tal.
So Tal.
Yeah.
It is. Tamir expects it.
on!
Soul expects it.
Yeah.
Tal
What's
expects it.
I
Tal's
think...
gonna lock Tamir down so
Yeah.
he can rest. She's going to airlock me out because I forgot to clean, and then she's gonna knock out Malik.
Yeah. I feel like all the sarcasm just goes right over Saul's head, and he doesn't even
it does.
notice it. And the only person who's actually getting sassed here is Tal, because Malik just can't turn it off, is what it is. So the only one not used to it and not here for it is Tal, which is great. And so I think as Malik watches Tamir smirk his way out of the door over something that he's not sure what that is, he takes the disc, looks to the half-naked Saul and says, "You should get dressed." And then just like leaves and heads towards like a terminal that has disc
I would
access.
mutter under my breath, "I'm in the process of," and then walk towards to get the rest of my clothes.
Okay. So Malik, you have the disc.
I do. I want to put that inside the computer
Okay.
and attempt to access it.
Okay. This one's gonna require the main computer,
Okay.
which, you know what, for shits and giggles, is the only computer with a chair.
Great.
And your
Perfect.
brother's sitting in it, I guess. Is that where Tamir went? To the main
Yeah, he's
computer?
got to go do a full. Like he could start the systems check, but he needs to be
Uh-huh.
there to manage and delegate.
Yeah. Okay.
I
You just, yeah.
I need that computer.
So do I. What do you need the computer for? Use your personal pad.
I need to access this disc
Why do you need to access the disk?
so I can see what's on it.
It's not our disk.
I know, but you don't want to know why that ship crashed? Or why it jettisoned all the entire cargo and all the other ships that are on it? The ships that were on it didn't escape. They exploded out of the airlock.
So that seemed very military. And
But it wasn't
should
supposed to
probably
be.
not touch it.
But it wasn't supposed to be military. The Ghazali was a rescue ship.
So don't touch the disc that belongs to people who were doing military things that should not be doing military things.
But you're not curious at all as to why?
Maybe a little, but it's not. We have a different mission that we need to go do.
But do we? Because they were on a rescue mission too, it sounded like. And we're on a rescue mission, and we're going to the same place.
There's a lot of bad space out there. You've seen the star charts?
Uh-huh. In the same bad space?
Space is big.
Mm-hmm. Space is big, Tamir.
I would like
Says
to...
the scientist.
Saul would immediately...
just dumbing it down for Malik.
Wowzer.
Could
All right.
literally explain how many astronomical units it takes from one place to another. You could shit in space and never touch a particle. Like,
Space is
Space
big.
is big. It is big.
Can we name the episode "Space is Big"?
Space is big.
Space is big.
No, it needs to be
Yeah.
space is big, and then comma, it
It
is
is
big.
big.
It is big.
That's next week's episode.
I would
Yeah,
just like to
right.
say, randomly, as Saul is getting dressed, he immediately has a flicker. Oh, right. The blood. Okay. And then he's going to get up and look for a mop.
oh, I'm so proud.
Doc,
Samir totally knew he was going to have to do it.
Aw. Poor
Uh,
intern.
what did remind me, please, or make me roll for it, whatever you want. What did Suleiman say about the ship? Because he gave us information about it.
He did. He
Yeah.
gave you brief information that they
Right.
were attempting to evacuate.
Yep.
That they had, along with this freighter, which went in, or I'm sorry, along with the Legion vessel,
Yep.
were jumping from Hamura to Taoan. That was their goal. They were going to Taoan because they were on. Oh nope, he didn't tell you that. That's right. They were on some kind of mission. That's all you know. It was clearly some kind of rescue mission with that. You know, a vessel that holds 500. So they were expecting a lot of people. He replayed you the image from the dash, basically the dash cam, moments before everything happened. You see the jump. The first vessel goes through the freighter. It seems to break in half. There's something that happens. It breaks in half in the middle and explodes. And the explosion is what knocked the Ghazali vessel off course and caused damage to everything else in the area, leaving all of this debris, probably part of the freighter. It's not very likely that the freighter survived. If it did, only the front half got through the actual portal. And then this was done. He told you that the ship was kind of unsalvageable and that they were transporting all of these goods for this rescue mission. It probably would have told you, I can't remember if I did or not, but I feel like it would have told you that they were making a rescue mission to the Taoan mine. There is a well-known gas planet that's in the Taoan system, and it's a mining planet. The whole thing is, and they were that you don't know yet. That's all you know.
I don't have culture. Wait, do I have culture? Culture's an advanced thing. I don't have culture. Okay, cool. And I know that the first ship was a Legion frigate, wasn't it? Do I know
Yes.
that? Okay.
Yes, it was a Legion frigate.
Okay. So a military ship is escorting this ship to a rescue mission in Taoan sector, and we are on a vaguely similar mission. A Legion destroyer, the Zarifa. Yeah, we have that information. Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Great.
Yep.
Okay.
And then you had some personal things.
Yes. Yep. I just remember that personal things that I have there
Yep.
that I really need Tamir to get off this fucking computer for. He is frustrated at the intern who's typing away, and he just is there a physical check you can do? You gotta check like an airlock or like a seal or a seam or take off that exosuit or what do you take a shower?
Tamir's gonna push a button near, underneath his skin, and just can't hear you, and going to continue his work.
Are you ignoring me? Is this what we're doing? Are we playing this childish game where you just ignore me?
Literally, it just sounds like.
Okay,
I wish I had a way to actually mute Mike so you could keep talking and then I could have gnome roll. That's because I imagine that's exactly what it is.
Hold on, I got you.
Yeah, just like that. Tamir, you're going to need to possibly roll. The diagnostic check is pretty simple. You've done this before, but if there's anything in depth that you want to look into, you'll want to do a roll.
It's really just to make sure, like, what are the major components that need to be repaired? Is there anything that is harmful to the life support or threatening to life support? And
okay.
Just a major check.
Okay, a major check. Immediately run diagnostics. The suit tells you that there was the only major damage done was to the front of the ship, and you can, like I said, look and see Tal out there like actively fixing it. It tells you that the only major part that was damaged was the stealth like adapter, the piece that helps with the stealth of the vessel, and the rest of it is mostly cosmetic. The internal, there's nothing internal that's going to endanger any of you from what you can tell. But if you want, to put plating back on the exterior of your ship and fix a few external stuff, you'll have to, you could probably do that at your next stop.
That'll probably be at the station. Okay. So Tamir will go ahead and relay some of that info to Tal.
Hey, Tal, you doing okay out there?
Yeah, I'm just fine. Just trying to get these wires reconnected. How's the ship looking?
The ship is surprisingly looking good. She is holding up well. We might have a little trouble with the stealth mechanism, though. Might need some stronger repairs for that. A little more attention to detail, but otherwise life support's good. Everything else seems fine. Thrusters all in check.
Okay. We'll have to wait for that till we can dock somewhere. I need to get some more supplies for one of the components on this thing.
Okay. I'll go ahead and start making a list of supplies that we'll need to purchase.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Tamir.
Yeah, of course, my pleasure.
Tamir will go ahead and boop.
Did you just, first, so you could hear her, but you couldn't hear me. Is that what, could you please? Just, I need, 5 minutes. It's not even going to take long. You can, I just need 5 minutes.
I'm done. What are you kvetching about? I'm good.
Oh, okay. So you just ignore me for 10 minutes and then, and then I'm the bad guy. No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yep. Tamir's going to go ahead and get back up and...
Lock your door.
Probably go try to fix some other stuff. Some smaller, internal
Yeah,
things.
there some things have fallen down.
Yeah.
There was a lot of rattling of the ship.
Trying to re-secure stuff so it's not floating around when we go, full boost mode.
And you bump into Polaris, who is actively mopping the hallway that he kind of drug blood through. Malik, you take a very warm seat from Tamir.
I immediately resist just locking his door from here. And then I slide the disc in, and I'm going to start attempting to get access to this thing.
All right, so this is okay. This is going to be very difficult. I just want you to know that. So I'm going to have you roll the data gen to try to hack into it.
Okay.
We'll see.
Does the ship computer have any bonuses to this? No, I assume not.
No,
Okay.
not to something of this high tier. This is like you cracking open a top secret file.
Sure. Can I plug my computer in to the ship's main system?
Sure.
Cool. Okay, that gives me a +1.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
Cool. So data gen. Oh,
Interfacing's totally a thing.
Okay.
Limited success?
Okay, you begin clicking through. There are some things that you can access and there are some that you cannot. The large portion of information that was collected by this vessel is behind some kind of wall. It's a password protected wall, and it's probably, it's either Legion or Consortium. And you're gonna need a passcode from possibly a faction or somebody to open this.
Okay.
What you can get hold of is the initial dossier given to the Ghazali, so you can actually see everything laid out. And maybe it's because it's damaged, or maybe it's because you're trying to hack away, or maybe it's because you only got a limited success. But yes, all of you hear it. Across the ship, through comms, in your suit, it taps in some way into the vessel. And you hear a strange voice, one that doesn't match any of your teammates, come on. It's very staticky at first, and it says, alarm code 1A, alarm requesting immediate assistance, unknown signature, reminiscent of Tarjak's legions, but definitely atypical. Evacuation has commenced. Supplementary stasis. We have to sensor artifact in sensor 4. Declination 4, 2, 1. It's almost a perfect black vessel. By the grace of the icons, they're here. And it goes off.
Was that like through the intercoms? So like I know that everyone heard it? Dope. Cool.
You'll hear a mop drop.
Malik, it's very clear to you, and you can see
fine.
that
Tamir, what did Tamir? Wow.
It's that radiation.
It's that radiation. God damn it. Malik, what did you just do?
Nothing.
I told you not to touch the military disc.
It's fine.
I would like to make my way towards the cockpit.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
You hear the airlock open.
Shit.
We're
The
fine.
captain's back.
I like to turn around and go to my chambers.
You drop the mop and return to safety. Malik, as this happens and it's playing over, you can see the actual like text coming up on the screen, the captioning, and you can see at the very end of this message that it was sent from the mining colony in Taoan. This is probably the original message that was received by the consortium that sent out the initial, the one before you. You can only rightfully assume. And then afterwards, it is the actual call to arms and the call to action. You can find available to you the trade agreement where the Ghazali, that once was basically a rotting cruise liner, was purchased by the consortium and converted into transportation, where they the Legion ship was called and the soldiers were called to arms. The cargo that was on board, all of the like kind of things that stocked everything, but any additional information currently is behind a password protected wall.
Okay.
Like the actual happenings, I guess you could say.
If I leaned over, would I see whatever he's seeing?
Yeah, when you walk in to see what, like, you can see it. It's almost like the HUD, he's put it in and the HUD deck has projected it upwards. And it's just a scrolling of the message that you see and some of this information.
Huh.
Is Saul the first person in the cockpit? Or that comes in after this message?
Yeah.
If he is, and if he's the only person, Malik looks to Saul and says, "This was the job."
What do you mean?
This was the job. And he points to the message.
Do I pick up on that, or?
Yeah, you kind of pick up on it that there was some kind of very secretive message that escaped the mining colony and made it all the way to Coriolis. The consortium, or potentially somebody else, made immediate action within days of receiving this to send out a rescue mission that included the Ghazali, which just exploded behind you, and the Legion destroyer, which you all watched in that video explode going through the portal. They never made it to Taoan, which means the mining colony has not been saved yet.
And if you recall, when you first grabbed Malik, he said to you, "You don't even know what the job is."
Yeah, and
thinking
this
that
is
you were
where
just a bodyguard.
Saul is gonna, because he actually doesn't know what the job is. So Saul's gonna be like, I'm gonna slowly pull out my dossier and just point to it and be like, "But this is the job."
No.
And this is when Tal would actually possibly walk
in
with still in most of her exosuit with the helmet off.
And I put my dossier away and I just look at Malik for a second, realizing in his head that he's like, it's like kind of like triggering that he knows now. He understands that Malik probably knows more about this than he does, and understands that he's not. There's a reason why his dad assigned him to him. So Saul's like natural face kind of converges into like a little bit of disgust, because now he is working alongside with someone that is, in his mind, he doesn't know it's true or not, but in his mind, he thinks he works for my dad. So now Saul's face is immediately just cold and kind of a little bit disgusted. He rolls his shoulders back a little bit and kind of like has a different posture and just kind of steps back a little bit and lets a bit of space for the pilot to walk up. And he just kind of stares at Malik for a second.
What in the name of the icons have you played on my ship?
Well, it wasn't intentional, Tal. This is the blue disc from the Ghazali. This is part of the blue disc from the Ghazali. This is a distress signal. This is what the Ghazali was going for.
That was talking about what sounds like a invasion? I'm not equipped for that.
That could be one outcome. It could be anything. It's too distorted to tell what was coming.
They're coming? You
Well,
know what? I don't really need any more. This is a science vessel. It's not I don't have any
so was the
extra
colony that got
weapons.
I look over to Tal for a second. I thought we were supposed to just retrieve the disc, and then kind of like eyes back at Malik and back at Tal.
Technically, we were supposed to jump here and do a rescue mission, but everyone else is dead. And the people we
From
were
what
rescuing,
you can tell, you were supposed to jump to the Taoan system. You were the second group.
And then I say that we were supposed to jump to the Talon section. So we weren't really supposed to know about any of this.
This was the precursor. They left for the Taoan system also, and didn't make it. Can I guess I wouldn't be able to replay the video, but I think Tal probably saw it on one of our vid screens, the video that Suleiman played for us.
Yeah, that is actually what's behind closed wall, right? That would have been actual footage, so
Okay,
you
cool.
can't almost
All right.
replay it.
Yeah.
But guess who was there that captured that? Second cam.
The drone. The drone boy. Yeah, he looks
Good drone boy.
So Malik looks to Saul, and now he notices Saul's like now much cooler demeanor. And he like just takes stock of it for a second as strange. Maybe this is just business, Saul. And he like kind of puts a hand out, like a little bit slower than when he did with Tamir. And he says, "Can I see your drone?"
For what?
It recorded the message from Suleiman of the ship exploding.
I look at Tal for a minute, and I kind of like give like a slow glare back to Malik and pull out the drone, and like hand it over.
So I'm gonna try to hook up this drone to this giant command screen that I'm looking at, and play the video of the Zarifa halfway through the portal and exploding. Yeah.
Okay. You plug it up. You watch as you like fast forward through the first like round as it went up and back down and kind of came around, and finally you stop. And you see the three of you, your backs, as it's kind of behind you floating, and you can see the hologram that was projected upwards that showed that footage as you replay it again, and you can even turn it on slow motion if you want to. It's not very clear, but it's clear enough to make out the gist of the situation, and you see it once again. The vessel floating behind the Legion destroyer. It goes through first and gets about halfway through what we know as the actual portal to Taoan. And there seems to be some kind of disruption. You can see like some of the lights on the exterior kind of flash and flicker in a way that they should not. And then the vessel kind of snaps. Now, this is a massive Legion destroyer. We're talking carries hundreds and hundreds of people. So this is no small feat. It would take it probably 5 minutes to get all the way through the portal. And it snaps in half. And when it does, whatever happens causes a massive explosion backwards. Now, Tamir, this is probably most interesting for you. You study portals. And as much or as little as that is actually known about the portals in terms of the way that it works, you've never read or seen anything that describes a portal reacting this way. You don't know why. The last time that anybody discussed portals exploding this way was when they collapsed, breaking the third horizon off from the first and second.
Okay.
Now, the explosion happens, and that's when the lights flicker. You hear people scream on deck, and then everything goes dark.
And when that part comes in the recording and it like cracks in half, I say, there, that right there, I don't want that to happen to this.
We already went through that portal.
No, you did
Oh,
not.
that's the next one. Oh, that's
They
right.
were headed to Taoan
But
portal.
the next portal doesn't work, though,
Right,
right?
it's broken right now, right?
Correct. We have to go through regular space.
You were told it's broken.
Right.
Well,
There's a lot of things in this dossier that seem to be a little vague now.
Is there any way to make communication to, what was that?
Coriolis?
Not to Coriolis from here.
It's a bit far. You could send, when you arrive at the portal, you might be able to send word back, but it would take some time. It's not, you can't call them up, basically.
Damn it, okay.
yeah, there'd be probably an hour delay or something.
An hour delay, and you'd have to send an encoded message, especially if you're attempting to contact any of the factions specifically.
Yeah.
And the portal station around this one is gone.
It's still here.
It's still here. You're actually headed. That is your trajectory. Actually, let me pop up roll 20,
Then
and I can pull that back up.
When we get within range, that would be my next objective, is to stop by the portal station or contact the portal station.
Malik,
over to Tal. How far are we from the portal station?
How far are we from the portal station?
That's a good question. You had about a 12-hour trip. You guys have maybe done an hour and a half of that. Here's basically what happened. If you're looking at roll 20, I'll ping this again. Let me make sure I'm on the right map here. Yeah. So that's the Chimera system. You guys came in via this portal. Okay. Right. When you arrived, this whole ring here that we're supposed to follow over to this station. That was your next trajectory, because you were going to jump to Taoan. This is where all the debris was. It knocked you off course, and you guys ended up just outside of the sun's massive gravitational pull before you started coming back. So because you're off trajectory, it's going to take you a little longer. So you're actually cutting kind of a shortcut. That's the only way I know how to describe it. Kind of cutting a shortcut, like a diagonal. Yes, this is what I want. So you guys landed out here somewhere when all the ship business went down, that little yellow dot. So instead of taking the circle around, you guys are kind of taking this offshoot trajectory to try to get there and avoid as much debris as possible.
So Malik is about to overstep. And he, as everyone's kind of talking back and forth, he looks to Tal and says, a Consortium-owned mining colony in the Taoan system sent this distress call out. The Consortium bought that ship that we just went on and risked our lives to get this disc. The Legion destroyer they sent as an escort exploded in the portal, and that was weeks ago. So someone at Coriolis already knows this.
It would have been about.
He's making this assumption entirely.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. Timeline's a little off, but everything else is right.
Shit. and he looks to her and says, and the rescue mission in the Taoan system is what you were hired for.
Alrighty.
And then he ejects the disc.
I told you not to tell me if you were affiliated with anybody.
I didn't. I just said they were.
How do you know all this?
You're not affiliated with anybody.
I'm not.
Well, some of it he just learned from the same thing you saw. So that would be made very clear that distress call came from that. He's just kind of linked pieces, I think, at this point.
I mean, that's what you guys assume. That's what you assume. That this is the first time that Malik's heard this distress call.
No, Soul would be obvious. That's the obvious answer, but it's just a weird, especially what we just experienced 20 minutes ago. It's just such a weird coincidence that you would know all this so perfectly.
Right? Isn't it
I think Soul is just gonna be and just kind of keep quiet.
And he just takes the disc and kind of like, I imagine there's this like cool tension between Tal and Malik right now.
It's all just like,
And he looks to her and says, "By your leave, Captain." And he like heads towards the door of the bridge to like leave the bridge.
I turn on Soul and I say, "Did you clean up that blood yet?"
I just walk away.
It is mostly clean, though there is a mop still lying in the middle of the floor that was dropped unexpectedly.
That's a hazard.
I'll go and like pick it up and like put it back.
All right.
Oh, I will leave a wet floor sign though.
Oh, you're such a good crewmate.
Could
Anything?
I look?
Yeah.
Could I look for Tamir?
I'm right there.
You look around, he's
everyone's
behind
with
you.
us. We're all there.
Yeah,
Like off doing your
that's
own
just like the
thing.
last one in, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I'm gonna like step back and let if Tamir walks out or not. Do you walk out or?
No. We've stayed
Yeah,
the pit with
I
Tal.
just leave it.
Okay.
Never mind.
Our two brooding characters find a corner. Tamir and Tal are left in the kind of science computer area near the cockpit.
Tal, what do you want to do? This seems way over our head, way over the ship's head.
Yeah. I don't really know if there's any way to pull back now, though.
So are we going? We know partially what is there, and
Well,
we don't know what there here is. I've never seen a portal act that way. What if it's somebody from the first or second horizons and they were able to reconnect the portal? What if it's something
possible.
else?
They're here. That's what's got me. If it's one thing to have an accident happen and lose communication. It's another thing to something is here attacking or doing whatever, destroying portals, making them act funny. Maybe just as soon as they see something on the other side, destroying that. Last time I made a portal jump, not that long ago, I came back out in a debris cloud. What if I come back to missiles?
The ship can't handle that at all. I don't think we can handle that. We're not military. We're not consortium. Is there somebody we can just turn the disc into? Let them handle it. Let the military handle their own. Somebody hired Soul to go do this search and rescue mission. So who's Soul's boss? I know you don't want to know, but somebody already knows.
It's just safer if you don't know.
I don't think it matters if it's safer now. Now we're in this. We were on that ship.
I rip my eyes from the screen and meet Tamir's, and I say, "What does your brother do?"
Oh, he works in IT for Best Buy.
I don't think that's right.
No, he's very good at what he does. He freelances from side to side, you know.
That's why he's here. He's not here with Best Buy. Come on, Tamir. You're smarter than that.
Come on, what? I've done side jobs. I've had to go repair plenty of ships. He goes and fixes computers and datacoms. He's very good at that.
Why is he on a rescue mission?
I don't know. Why did you go?
He's not here right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm like Joey's like, wait, oh yeah. Do I know? Did we
no
didn't
one
have that
asked Malik. He
conversation.
just
Nobody
kept coming
asked.
with you.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh, I know why.
Players never ask enough questions at the top. They're always like, this is fun. Now you're floating through space.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that he came with because he was about to get his hands chopped off by some guys. You know, Sol and him were being chased by somebody. It was not our business. I'm assuming he smarted off to somebody he should not have. So it's a little safer to come here. And we could certainly use the day to help.
I have a hard time believing that is entirely the story as well.
He's not military, I can tell you that.
No, he's definitely not military. I don't know. There's something off here, and I don't know what it is, and I don't like it.
I would think, let's see.
I'm gonna spend a dartboard.
Not yet. I'm still saving
You
them.
have 7 of them. Spend them, Dot. There's an hour
She's gonna
left.
save
We're not even into the thick of it yet. You guys have just crest into the story, and you guys are like, spend them dark points, please. I want to get to the point where you guys are really sweating, and I'm like, oh, let me cash in 3 of
We're
those
gonna be at like
and
the
2
brink
of
of
those.
death, like
Yeah.
all pointing guns. There's a whole
Yeah.
army. We're like, we got
That's
this.
called
We
the
got
darkness, bud. It comes
And then
creeping in when you least
Mexican
expect it.
standoff, and Dot's like, I'm gonna cash in 7 points.
We are having some space drama. I would say, so here's just some general political things that most everybody that is regular on Coriolis would know. Anything that is military oriented with the Legion answers back to, the Consortium. A disc like this that holds valuable information is just that, very valuable. So regardless of whether or not you might finish your mission, you could take the disc back and simply just cash in on it and make it their problem again, because they obviously didn't have the information that you have when they sent the original vessel out. So there is always the just like cash in on the, cash crop, turn it in, get your bounty, peace out.
You know that's not Tamir style. But
It's not.
Could be
I would think that Malik would probably
maybe
know
Malik,
that.
Maybe Tal.
And Tal, Tal would probably know that. And I think Polaris definitely would too. Polaris, you would know something as valuable as a Legion disc that comes off of any kind of sanctified vessel is going to have top secret information, especially for something like this.
He
And
probably would know.
could trade for enough to buy your way out.
Well, I think this last mission is his last one before he leaves. And
If he completes it.
Oh, fuck you, right?
Yeah, you're not completing it
And I
now.
want to think what did your father say? If you come back?
Yeah, if you come back. But that kind of went over his head because he just doesn't want to listen to his dad regardless. So. But I will
We
tell
need to
you
be
guys-
better about making our family accountable.
I think at this
We do
point,
have one mom we've not met yet.
It's Tal.
How's mom?
Oh yeah, well Tal's
Which
parents
is
are
clearly
not-
the only one that raised any of you with any common sense whatsoever.
To be fair,
Not
Malik's
fair.
and Tamir's parents are dead. So
Well,
to be fair,
okay.
Like there's
Soul's-
like
Soul's
10.
Saul's mother was a sweetheart. It's its dad that
Right.
It's
that
clearly
is
a
true.
winner.
yeah, it's the
Real
winner.
and
winner.
I raised Tamir, and he's pretty okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay. We'll see. If
Anyways.
that's, true.
What were we
So-
talking about? We
What
were
are we-
talking about something specific.
What to do with
Yeah,
this mission or the disc?
You guys were
we
talking about
going-
not
yeah.
trusting. You don't entirely trust that Malik has been
Right,
honest with you.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just, we could take that disc back and I could buy a new ship with it.
What's wrong with this ship?
I mean, it's a great ship, but it's meant for running and hiding.
What, do you want a war cruiser?
No, but it would make me feel a little bit better about going back out to figure out what's going on after this portal.
I mean, I kind of want to go see the portal. We could end up with very valuable information there that might be life-saving, that might help reconnect the portals. Even if there is something horrible and horrific on that other side, there is nobody else now that knows about that.
Yeah, and if
we find out, we can send at least a warning back.
If we can transmit something before we die.
We can send probes through the portals, put the data on it, and fire it as we go. Contingency.
That's fair.
If it means anything, you still have to make it to regardless to actually make the jump. Even if you wanted to go back to Coriolis, you still have to make it to the portal.
Right, we still have to,
you still have to make it to the station, the portal station.
Yeah.
Correct.
We're still going there anyways.
Yeah, we need repairs. We need some supplies.
I gotta see if we get repairs and stuff.
Maybe there's some more information,
Definitely something. And the camera cuts as the two of you chit-chat down the hallway to Malik and Sul. What are you busy doing?
I think Malik just sort of like he, for sure, he's been in situations like this before, but this is not his ship. This is definitely Tal's ship, and he knew he was overstepping, but it was a play that he had to make to continue this mission. So I think he said what he said, got the answer he wanted, and then left, and so he goes right back to his room. Because once you play that card, you can't overstay that welcome. And so he was like, I gotta get out of here and just let that happen. So he beelines back for whatever makes for his little pod.
Oh, okay, back to your pod you go.
Is there a common room? That's
yeah, there's a gathering area that's attached to an open mess. Space.
I think Saul would be in the common room in the open. Is that room near the?
Yeah, so I think all of the quarters. It's here's the common room, and the quarters are literally on the.
They kind of branch off of it. They sunshine off. Yeah.
Is your door closed?
I think it would be open. He's not hiding, but he just needed to get out of that space and let whatever's going to happen.
I think Saul at this point would be taking all of his gear, his rifle, his pistol, his dagger, and a couple other little trinkets, and laying them kind of OCD on the table with a rag underneath. And he's kind of doing it at an angle that's oddly directly pointing towards Malik. And he's going to be cleaning his weapons and kind of not eyeing your room, but you can definitely feel him shifting his glaze back and forth as he's cleaning.
Yeah.
And he has the dossier in the open right next to him.
Yeah, I think after a few minutes of the steely gaze and gun noises, Malik sort of leans into the door and says, "You're in a mood."
He kind of looks around. What do you mean?
You were in one mood, and now you're in a different mood. Once I told you what the real job was, you made a face, and then you've been in a mood.
What did you say you did?
I work in IT.
For a person who works with computers, you seem to understand people very well.
I work in a help desk.
Right. How did you come across this mission? And I as I say that, I hover over the dossier.
Malik gets out of whatever his rack is and walks over to what I assume is the dinner table, basically this metal dinner table, and he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out fragments of a data stick and drops it on the table. Anonymous.
Anonymous. Huh. How did you come across this?
A friend gave it to me.
Who's your friend?
You remember that stall you were standing outside of?
The annoying one with the lady that kept trying to sell me something?
The one next to him.
Polaris, The data stick that was just dropped in front of you looks amazingly similar
To what?
to the data stick that you were handed that had creds on it or burr on it. You can literally pull them out and put them side by side.
I think what I would do on this, so I recognize that, right? Like that's the same data chip that's very similar to what my dad gave me. So I think I would take mine out and kind of just like silently, without like keeping eye contact with Malik, put it right next to the broken one so that he can see how similar they are.
Yeah, when you showed up with the dossier, looking for me specifically, I made the assumption that you were Syndicate.
And I would immediately just take that back and put it away. What is your relation? What do you have to do?
To whom?
What is your objective? I know you wouldn't just come along with me without a primary objective.
To investigate what's happening in the Taoan system.
That's a total lie.
Could I?
So I'm gonna have to. That's a flat lie, and I'm gonna have you make that roll.
Oh yeah!
Where you've like legitimately put that out there. So I'm gonna have you roll for this. This would be a manipulation roll.
I'm gonna pray to the icons, Dot. You can take a darkness point.
You?
Stop it! You're the one giving her the darkness points.
He wants this lie.
Fuck yes! Critical success!
Why?
He doesn't budge. He doesn't budge.
Could I roll something against that?
I was about to say you could. I don't know if that's an observation.
It's manipulation versus. What is it? It's a wit. I think it is observation. Yeah.
It's a wit. Yeah. So it's observation.
I'll try.
You're gonna have to roll another crit, or else you don't.
Right. Yeah.
That's impressive, Mike. Okay.
Oh wow.
So
you
close.
don't. You can't. How about this? You can't tell if he's lying or not.
Right. Okay.
He's really good at it if he is.
Literally, my two main stats are lies and computers.
So you are actually Mr. Robot.
So so I don't know that he's lying, but I don't fully believe him, right?
But yeah, your gut can tell you don't believe him, but you can't. Basically, it's like at a poker table. You can't find his tell. You can't tell if he's actually lying or not. The words that come out of his mouth sound like the truth. And
okay.
What your gut tells you is on you.
Whatever I was cleaning, I was cleaning specifically my rifle's barrel. I'm gonna put that down, and my hand kind of leans towards the pistol, but then I lean forward towards Malik, and I ask him, and then I kind of like nudge towards the cock pilot, and ask him like, the cockpit. Sorry.
With the pilot in it, yes. Got it.
Cockpit, sorry.
I was with you. I too had one. I was like, wait, was that right? I don't know.
And then he's gonna ask, does he know?
Does who know?
Does your brother know what you do?
I work in IT. I work in IT in the Tech Plaza on Coriolis. That is my job.
That's what you tell your brother.
That is my job. What I do on the side is my own.
That's a no. And then I'm gonna lean back a little bit. Why would you bring him along?
You needed a ship.
Interesting. And he kind of thinks about it. He's like, so you value your objective over your brother's safety.
My brother's safety is the objective.
That's not what's coming off here.
I don't do these jobs for fun.
Oh, he kind of like, now he's a little bit more relaxed. Because in his mind, he's going to connect and understand that he will do whatever he wants for his brother. Mm-hmm. Which means he's not going to have any malintent.
Yeah, he's not an actual sociopath. Yeah, he just plays one on TV.
Actual sociopath. He's like,
yeah.
Oh, that's very sweet. He kind of like tilts a little bit.
Shut up.
And he like thinks back. So what do you think this mission actually is then?
I think Malik looks back down the hallway again and makes sure that the cockpit door is closed, or like they're currently engaged and not listening.
You can hear them speaking.
They're having their conversation.
Yes.
There was a Consortium mining colony that was attacked, perhaps. The Consortium launched an immediate rescue mission, didn't tell anyone about the distress signal, and there's an explosion in this system hours in the visibility of the Hammurabi station. And no one else has sent a vessel to check it out.
Wow. And Saul puts his hand on the dossier, and he looks at Malik. Whatever is on this dossier is what I am told.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to push it forward towards Malik. If you want to look at it and see if it will help you, and he lifts his hands off.
Yeah, Malik sits and he begins sliding through this dossier.
That's keeping me honest. I have 9 DP points because there was a crit there.
Wait, crits give you them too? Jesus Christ.
Yep, when you crit and you spit one. And you gave me one.
Good job, Mike.
Sorry, I'm awesome all the time.
Wow,
I don't know what you want
Mike,
from me.
Good for you. Oh my god, I don't know you work. Whatever. Screw you, Mike. Oh my god, Paul. It's not like I'm gonna find out sooner or later, damn it.
Oh, wonderful. This is wonderful.
Welcome to playing with me.
You know what? Chat asked if there was an image of your vessel. I have one that is somewhat similar. It would be of reasonable size. So I'll add these, but just so you guys know, I'm adding them to roll.
Yeah.
So just so I understand, like me, not Saul, but like so I understand. So from what I've gotten so far is Saul knows or has an inkling that Malik is a part of Syndicate, obviously.
Right.
Because he knows that I work for a Syndicate. But I don't fully know his primary objective, other than the fact he says he just wants to look over his brother, which for Saul means nothing.
Correct. Now, you know that the Syndicate functions in many layers.
Right.
You've probably been on a few missions where, like, somebody's mission is this and somebody's mission is this, even though everybody's headed to the same place.
Right.
The Syndicate's had its hands in a lot of places. But I think that Polaris is really asking the right questions, like, why a data gen? Right? Like you're kind of piecing these things together.
I think his biggest concern now is he kind of understands why he was sent here now, because obviously there's a lot of danger. He's trained in combat, but he's more specifically now curious, like why specifically him?
Yep.
From his father. And again, is there anything from like my past or any kind of experience that might help him have a hint of why he might be sent here? Any distrust from him and his dad, or like any reason to believe that his life is in danger? Because Paul thinks this bitch is about to get killed.
Right, I got you. You thinking he's gonna? Well, here's the thing: the Syndicate's not going to actively make you work against one another.
Right.
They're not going to make you fight against one another. They're probably run a lot deeper than that. They're going to have you work together for multiple ends. I
guess that's my main concern. Like, is there history of Syndicate killing Syndicate?
Only if there's been a Syndicate member that has gone again, like there was a reason to kill them. Only if there was a reason to kill them. But that being said, looking at Malik, he is not what you are.
Right.
He was sent with a set of skills, just like you were sent with a set of skills. His set of skills is probably not killing people. You watched him stumble all over himself in that situation.
I think he would feel a little bit more at ease then, just based off. It's kind of like, okay, you know, this is Saul, not me, but Saul was just kind of like thinking like, I think I could take him. Like that kind of mindset.
You size the situation up and you're like, if he attacked me in the middle of the night, I could throw him out of airlock.
Kill him.
Yeah. You're pretty sure that you could make that happen without a shadow of a doubt. Okay. So you don't have to worry about that much. Like if your concern is your safety, he's not much physical threat to you.
Okay, yeah, then I think Saul would be a little bit more relaxed and he kind of like just finishes up packing stuff up, and then Saul's gonna like look at Malik one more and look at his shoulder. He's like, "How's?" And then he pats to his shoulder, not your shoulder, but like Saul's shoulder, indicating.
Yeah. Well, I got eaten by a giant monster, so not great. But I mean, Tal did a great job.
You handled yourself very well.
I mean, I've used a pistol before.
Interesting.
I came with one, right? It's been mostly targets, but...
How familiar you are with the pistol?
It's been mostly targets.
Live targets?
What? No. We had an entire discussion on Coriolis that killing is against the law.
Right, of course. I feel like we've bonded.
I'm glad you think so. I mean, yeah, me too.
Brother did very well as well.
Didn't he? He's really good at following orders and running away,
Right.
which is what I want him to do, to be perfectly honest.
Wow.
So,
What a good older brother.
I mean, that's the safe option, right? He
Do
does...
you work with your brother often?
Never. I haven't seen him in months.
And your brother's a student?
He is. In Coriolis. The best
And
academy.
he is interning here on the ship now.
He is, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the final semester of his thing.
Has it been made known? You haven't made it known publicly, Tamir, what you study. I mean, your brother might know, and obviously Tal does, but you've not told Sul.
No, probably
No,
not.
and I don't think Malik has any reason to like tell him that. He says he's an engineer, which is what he is. He does, like, after scrolling through the dossier, I assume there's no super pertinent information in there that I don't already know. He does slide it back with the data stick, and as he's pulling the chips of the data stick that he has, he kind of looks to Saul and says, "Should I ask if you know who you work for?
I mean, you can.
Are you going to tell me?
I might.
Who do you work for?"
He kind of looks around. Just a shipping cargo company. Wanted their research back.
Okay. And he pockets the fragments of his thing.
Yep.
Well then.
And then he takes his and he puts it back too.
What you laid a bunch of stuff out on the table. What did you have laid on the table?
My rifle with the barrel detached for cleaning. The pistol is still attached. His mercury dagger just laying there unactivated. And then a couple cloths and a few vials that are unidentified.
The stone piece though you didn't lay out. The
No,
broken
that's
one.
that's in my pocket.
Okay.
Could I? Actually, no, I don't know. I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, never mind.
I mean, you can do whatever you want with it. It's yours now.
Oh, I'm just trying to think. What would Soul do? I think he would hold on to it. Yeah.
Hold on to it. You do.
He grabs the fragments and puts them back in his pocket and stands up like he's going back to his room. And he looks at Saul one more time and he says, "If we go to the Hammurabi station and try to sell the disc, it's stolen property, owned by the Consortium. If they really want it, they'll just take it."
Saul takes a moment to think. Honestly, I have no real interest in what happens to that disc.
But certain interested parties might.
Sure, but I don't.
Okay. And he heads back to his room.
And there's a little bit of a silence that falls over the ship, I would think, for the next few hours, unless anybody wanted to do anything prior to arriving at the portal station.
Not particularly. I think Tamir and I are taking stock of anything we might need as far as parts or anything like that.
Right.
Getting a list together.
I have a question though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
When Tao was talking to the priest at Coriolis, did Saul recognize that it was a priest?
That was in private. Her
Okay.
her conversation with the priest at the cantina was done by herself before you all arrived and Tamir brought you in.
Cool.
You might have seen, you were sitting by yourself when they arrived, right? Or
Yeah,
did you get to see the end of it?
She was walking away as they were walking in.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
they passed.
Never mind then.
Okay. So yeah, you may not, you probably wouldn't have noticed that. The only other time was on the docks.
Damn it.
Yeah. And in that case, I also, since we have a moment to talk about it, because we keep forgetting, Tal would have immediately upon getting on the ship looked at that the statuette that she was given. But I have not actually said that.
Right. Yeah, you take some time. Do you want to take like serious time with it, or you just kind of want to look it over once over?
Well, she would have taken a little bit of time as soon as she gotten back to the ship.
okay.
Like initially.
Yeah,
But
as you guys were
now
like
that
waiting
we
and
have some time, I'm going to spend a good amount of time with it.
okay, you probably actually take it where it belongs, which is on the altar inside of the chapel here on or the temple. You have a very small temple inside of the vessel itself. It is, again, a small figure, probably not but a couple inches tall. It is hand carved out of some kind of really beautiful gray and white stone. From what you can tell very quickly, Tao, it is definitely a carving of one of the icons, and that would be the traveler. But what's most interesting to you is the base. It stands on kind of this cylindrical little base that it sits on. It is made of a different material, and you are welcome to roll. I would take, this is going to be a wits roll. So if you wanted to do observation, you could do,
I do have observation.
okay. Then you could do an observation. You could do a technology, but not no, I'm sorry. The other way around. It's science, but not technology. I'd take a culture roll.
I will go by observation.
Great.
Limited success.
Pretty good. That's pretty good. You kind of fiddle with it, and you're like looking it over, and you're really taking a look at that base, and it is not part of the original statue. It's been affixed to it. And you very easily, with just a little bit of effort, it like pops free. You can hear like a small snap. And this small, it's probably about the size of a stone. It's kind of flat, like a disc, is some kind of other thing that kind of pops off of it. The statue itself still sits up. It still serves its purpose. But there is definitely something else here. And as this small stone sits in your hand, it's got some glyphs and strange geometrical patterns kind of carved into the top of it. You have to make a culture roll to really identify it.
Okay. I don't have culture.
Okay. You could make a wits roll, but you'll still only get part of the information unless anybody has an artificer talent, which I don't think any of you do.
I do not. Nope. I've got 3 wits and 3 empathy.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the wits then. So let's just start with that. Let's see if you can figure it out.
Okay. Fail.
You've not ever seen anything like this. Now, granted, you're not necessarily trained in the ways of the icon at like she was, the priestess is. So this is something strange to you. It's pocket sized. You can pocket it. It doesn't seem to do any harm to you. You've just not been able to make out what it actually is. You may have to have somebody that specialize in maybe ancient artifacts or something. Somebody from the order take a look at it to give you more information as to what it actually is.
Okay. I will keep it in my pocket for now.
Perfect. Just a nice little smooth stone with some light carvings in it. Little stress stone, I guess, for your pocket. And now seems like the perfect time as you draw ever closer to this portal station. You feel that stone in your pocket and you rub it for a little bit of comfort, that constant reminder that the traveler is there, that you are not alone in the darkness of space. And as you draw closer to this station, I will show you a picture of it. I say that. Yes, well, here it is. Oops, it only helps if I move you guys over to it. There we go. So you're gonna see a few things here. Let me get the grid off of it. That'll be helpful too, so you can see it easier. Okay, at the top you can see it here. Here it is. This is the portal station that floats in between the in and out portal to this system. You can scroll below and see more of like a side view of it. There are 2 major landing platforms. You note it immediately, Tao. I'm going to have you make a pilot roll. This will conclude the latter half of your journey passing through this debris.
Okay.
And making the landing.
Oh.
It's a bumpy ride. And as you come in to land, you realize that there are other ships on board. There are 3 other ships docked currently, and you make a very bumpy landing. Everybody inside is a bit shaken up. Everything that you've put back on shelves rustles and judders again. Something might break in the science lab, maybe a beaker or something, a glass beaker. It's a rough landing. And as you come down and you land, there's a crunch from underneath the vessel. You don't know what it is till you get out, but there's kind of a hard crunching sound as if you've smashed something.
Oh no, did I hit another? Oh, I hope I didn't hit another pedestrian.
Would we have heard this crunch?
Oh, yeah, you can't miss it. It would have been like, landing, crunch underneath it. Like a really bad Delta flight.
Saul's gonna immediately pop his head out and just yell down the hall, I think you hit something!
I just feel like that attempt at super dry humor from Tal would be lost on Tamir. I just feel like, I hope I didn't hit another person.
What?
Did you miss that,
No,
no?
tell me about that. no, I heard it.
Resigning.
Was it gonna have to be resigned?
As soon as Tally hears the soul say that, she replies and says, "Thank you. Whatever should I do if you are to leave my ship? Please, please don't leave my ship."
What?
And Saul's just like, does she want me to leave the ship?
More sarcasm missed.
I don't know if she's being funny or not.
Should I leave the ship?
No, you hired the ship. You're paying them.
Oh, right. I don't know. I can't understand anything she says.
Just act like you're in charge.
But I'm not.
Clearly.
Oh, and about this time, there's a thud, as somebody knocks on the edge of the vessel. A voice rings out, kind of no discriminate like words or anything. They're kind of yelling in general. You definitely have done something you shouldn't have.
Yeah, I'm already going to figure out what I've done.
The dock, you dock, right? You land, all this kind of stuff. The plank outwards as the door swings open, or hydraulics open. And there at the end of about an 8-foot ramp stands a man. Relatively well-dressed to be manning a dock, but let's see. I was going to give you an actual, elderly, definitely much older than all of you. These kind of tattoos that swirl across his scalp, which is completely shaven clean. He has a neatly trimmed beard that kind of lends an air of sophistication, which kind of juxtaposes these tattoos along his scalp. And he definitely keeps his body well covered, having worked the docks, kind of, suit, jacket, those kind of things. And he looks very angry. You can see behind him immediately that whatever you've landed on has smashed outwards. There are large planks of wood, possibly from crates or something that you might have landed on. They may have been moving cargo, and you might have landed on some of the cargo. You're unsure. And he very boisterously introduces himself. Let's see. And he says, I want to make sure I get the right person here. He says his name is, I wrote this down, Azul. Aha. He says, I am Dock Master Azul. You did not tell us you were coming.
I tried to communicate with you before. I guess it didn't go through. I'm very sorry about that.
He says, I don't apologize. We've had an influx of cargo, and he gestures to the box that you kind of smashed everywhere.
Sorry about that. I was not expecting it to be there. Last time I was here, it wasn't there.
I see. He kind of looks at you and he says, well, to dock here, there is a fee.
Great. What's the fee?
He says it's 150 birr to dock for the 24 hours. And he says, where are you coming from? His eyes kind of squint.
Coriolis, actually.
And where are you going?
Well, we wanted to see how the portal was working over here.
His eyes kind of squint as he looks at you, and he says, I see. The last vessel from Coriolis to here didn't make it to its next place.
Yes, we heard about that. I actually have a engineer who specializes in portals on board.
Is that so?
Yes.
He kind of stops and he says, interesting. Bring your portal researcher. I'd like to introduce him to, what do they call it? He's like, I'd like to introduce it to our scientist on board who navigates the portals. There's been some interesting readings from the last jump. I have a feeling you want to see them.
Well, I'm sure my engineer would be delighted to have that conversation.
He kind of looks around, he snaps. Some people keep like picking up these planks and moving them.
Perfect.
And as you see that there are a bunch of them, these crates are roughly about 6.5, almost 7 foot long, and about 3.5, maybe 4 foot. The one that was burst open clearly had another box on the inside of it. And 2 men pick up a dead body. And they place it back inside a mangled coffin.
Oops.
You squished the dead dude.
At least he didn't feel it.
And we're just going to end right there.
Oh, man.
No!
We're just going to call tonight's episode
I
right
need to have a conversation with Tal so bad.
Started!
So bad.
Well, we're going to have to call it tonight. It's 9 after 10!
I don't care, Dot.
know what you're talking about.
How are you going
least he
to?
was
How are you going
already
to end it
dead.
right as we land? That's so fucked up.
I mean, I was like, I don't know how long they're going to take in space. They had some things they want to talk about. They're going to need to deal with some trauma. But you took the whole 2 hours, which is fine. You guys can explore the entirety of this station
We are
and all the
not.
many things it has in store for you.
We are not going to get very far at all throughout this entire series, are we?
No, it's just a space soap opera, which is exactly what Gnome wants.
I am in heaven.
This is
So
the
good.
tragic love story.
No,
of
you
Malika's
might.
soul.
We'll definitely have this next one. This next game we'll spend on this, and then you guys will probably make a big decision, I would think, and then we'll do a little bit of time jumping as you make you make your decision and tell me where you're going and what you're doing.
Oh, man.
I mean, we got a bunch of information. Like, our characters needed to understand the gravity of what is going on.
And you guys got the kind of big final puzzle piece, I think, which was the initial distress signal.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That was the big piece that the group needed to like really like pink, some things into place. And now you're starting to not trust each other, which is cool. That's why I set it up this way.
I have to write down this conversation we need to have with Tal now. Thanks, Dot.
You're welcome. Don't forget it.
Oh, stressed. This has been another episode of Void where we just do space drama the whole time.
Where are we space drama?
It's just a space drama. This has been super awesome. Thank you all so much for being here, for chatting, for donating, for subbing, all that fun stuff. Let's go around, do our introductions. We'll get the hell out of here, and we will see you guys next week. We'll start with let's start with Paul. Paul, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hello, I'm Paul. I play Saul, and oh God, I'm so bad when I'm the first one to do these things. You can find me on Twitter. It's @inwit123. I will actually be having a D&D project coming out. Hopefully next month or a month and a half. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I had super fun. I agree with. I almost called you Tamir. Damn it.
That's fine.
No, I think this episode is interesting because like so many people learn so many different things about so many different important stuff. So I'm really pissed that it ended right here. I will start my petition to extend these games starting tomorrow. So if you want to sign for that, I'll post it on my Twitter. Thank you.
Nice.
I'm actually going to play 2 Voids a week. It's going to be on Thursdays and Fridays.
Can you also add another day of the week for me,
Yeah,
please? Because
it's
that's
called-
where my life is right now.
It's called Fun Day.
Perfect.
yeah.
Great. Wonderful.
I like this.
Yeah.
I like
the 8th
this.
day of
Can
the
we-
week,
The
known
8th day
as
of the week, Fun
funding.
Day.
Can we play Void all day on those days?
On Fun Day? Yeah, sure.
On Fun Day, we only play Coriolis.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's great.
You just take breaks.
I'm okay with this. We can add an extra day.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
You think I'm joking, but I'm writing the petition right now.
Right? I want to know who you're turning this petition into. It doesn't matter.
I've got an Eldritch deity on hold. It's fine.
Eris,
Oh my gosh, why?
Eris, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Eris Savad.
Oh, my.
I may or may not be an occultist.
Wow,
I'm a Stitch Witch. I make dice trays and other things with fabric and stitches. I also play a lot of RPGs. You can find me here at this time on Thursdays, because that's what day this is. You can find me on Fridays on Savric's channel, where we are playing a very dark Planescape campaign, and that's at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And on Sundays, you can find me on Open for Adventure at 4 p.m. Eastern time, playing a homebrew 5th edition game, which is so much fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All the feels.
Right.
Everywhere.
All the feels.
With that, we'll jump over to Gnome. Gnome, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to specifically regarding Coriolis?
Hi, my name is Gnome. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at NomeMedic. I do all of the TTRPG things in internet spaces. Speaking of space, I have a podcast coming up.
What?
That's also in Coriolis.
You're joking.
I know, right? Fuck that game. It's horrible. We can just end there. It's good. I don't know why I said that.
That's all I got.
No, it's called We Never Left. I've been working on it for about a year. It is an actual paid production, thanks to all of the amazing support over on Patreon. I wanted to make sure that players got paid for their time. So that's really what I'm most excited about. But also, we have an awesome cast. We are probably going to be doing announcements next week on them. And I'm really excited because Coriolis is actually one of the best space games I've ever read, and I'm so happy we get to play.
Me too.
And I've read almost all of that. I spent a year researching science fiction TTRPGs, and this one just
pops, doesn't it?
Wow. Yeah. Yep.
So,
the setting, the rules.
Mm-hmm. So for the podcast, We Never Left, I'm starting a hashtag. It's called #We'reStillHere. And there's gonna be no context to that inside joke. But anytime you all see that, please #We'reStillHere. That being said, and speaking of still being here, Dot, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
My turn. I'm Dot. You can find me on the internet as Little Red Dot, where I'm a GM and a digital storyteller. I play on other awesome channels just like this one, as well as my own. As of yesterday, we have officially launched more space. I need more space in my life, clearly. Over on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock, I've got a Teens in Space campaign, which is less darkness, more angst.
Still also shipping.
There was a lot of teenage shipping last night. We were one episode in, it was just some serious thirst.
Oh my God, Cicero.
Yeah, there was some serious thirst, but it's great. I'm very excited about it. It's got a very different feel. So if you want to see two sci-fi campaigns that are opposite ends of the spectrum from one another, you can come watch me on Wednesdays do that. I'm part of the North by Northwest podcast, so if you want to see me GM some D&D, which is just about the only place I play D&D anymore, you can check us out there. And on Saturdays, I'm over on Roll For It with some Vampire the Masquerade, where I get my darkness on. If you guys think this is dark, you don't even know.
Also, I'm putting this out there into the ether, as those people say when they say those kind of things. Expect some kind of project from me, Dot, and Gnome this year.
It's gonna happen. We just haven't figured out what it is yet.
It is yet, but it's gonna happen. And so I'm putting it out there, and so now we're held accountable for it.
You know what? Now that you put it out there, guess who else is accountable for it? All of you. If you got an idea for us or something you want to see us produce, you should tell us.
Yes. Do that.
We could put our powers together and combine and make
like a Voltron Zoid. That being said,
But wait,
That's
I want to play too.
Eris is insane. This is what happens.
Like,
fuck yeah.
But don't.
Everyone's playing.
you know that like this Coriolis game isn't going to end. Like,
No,
I know you wanted us to do something, but
Yeah.
I feel like we're just gonna
That
still
was
die.
like, I'm gonna run one season of Coriolis for 12 weeks, and we all went, okay.
You can run
Nice.
one season. It's just not gonna end.
Yeah.
That's just-
It's just one forever season. Remember how we all
Yeah.
talked about wanting like a long-term campaign? Well,
I'm a firm believer that the icons will curse you. So instead of saying I'm gonna run Coriolis forever, I said I'm gonna run a season, and then if there's like a second season,
yeah, or it's just like a 64-week season.
I'm okay with either or.
That being said, we have
I'm
been
just
your crew of the Defiant. We are out of here for tonight. We will see you guys next week with more space madness. So from all of us to you guys, bye-bye!
bye everybody.
Yay!